What if I told you that there is a clear path for you to get out of this seemingly endless pain? If you are going through a loss, whether it is of a loved one, a relationship, a job, or anything important in your life, you need to understand something very important. What you are feeling right now has a name, an explanation, and most importantly, a solution. Many people get stuck in sadness because they don't know that there are specific stages that our minds need to go through in order to fully heal. It's like a map that shows exactly where you are and where you need to go. Over the next few minutes, I will show you the 7 stages of grief that everyone goes through, even without realizing it. I will explain why you feel what you feel at each moment, and most importantly, how to speed up this healing process. If you don't understand these stages, you could be stuck in the pain for years, thinking that you will never get better. But when you know the path, everything becomes easier. You will discover which stage you are in now and what you need to do to move on to the next one. By the end of this video, you will have a powerful tool to transform your pain into strength and breathe easily again. Tip 1. Recognize initial shock. The first stage of grief is shock, and you've probably been through it or are going through it right now. When we receive difficult news or lose something important, our minds simply can't process the information all at once. It's as if our brains create an automatic protection mechanism to keep us from feeling everything all at once. You may have felt that strange sensation, like you're living a bad dream or watching someone else's life. People often say that they feel like they're floating or that nothing seems real. This happens because our nervous system goes into protective mode. It's normal to feel confused, unable to think straight, or even unable to cry during this time. Some people feel very calm and collected, while others feel completely lost. Both behaviors are completely normal. The important thing is to understand that this phase doesn't last forever. Your brain is doing exactly what it needs to do to protect you. During this stage, be gentle with yourself. Don't pressure yourself into reacting in a specific way. Some people feel like they should be crying a lot, while others feel like they should be stronger. The truth is that everyone reacts differently, and that's okay. Accept whatever feelings you have, even if they are just a lack of feelings. Find people you trust to talk to, even if you feel like you don't have much to say. Sometimes just having someone around can help a lot. Drink water, try to eat something, even if it's just a little, and rest whenever you can. Your body needs energy to process everything that's going on. Tip 2. Understand denial as protection. The second stage is denial, and it can show up in ways you might not even imagine. It's not just saying that something didn't happen. Denial can be you acting as if nothing has changed, continuing to do the same things you always do, or avoiding thinking about the subject. It's your mind trying to keep life the way it was before. You might find yourself waiting for the person to come back, checking your phone to see if they've texted you, or preparing food for 2 when you now live alone. It can also be you telling everyone that you're fine and that you don't need help, when in fact you're really hurting inside. Denial serves to give us time to gradually get used to the new reality. It's like a natural remedy for pain, which slowly diminishes as we can bear more. The problem is when we get stuck in this stage for too long. Some people spend years avoiding accepting that something has really changed in their lives. To get through this phase in a healthy way, start by recognizing small signs of the new reality. You don't have to accept everything at once, but allow small truths to enter your life. If you lost someone, it may be about keeping some of that person's things, but not all of them. If you lost a job, it may be about starting to look for new opportunities, even if you don't feel ready yet. Talk to people who have been through similar situations. They can help you see that it is possible to get through this and that life can be good again, even if it's different. Remember that accepting reality doesn't mean you're forgetting or stopping loving what you lost. It just means you're allowing your life to go on. Tip 3. Allow yourself to feel the anger. The third stage is anger, and many people are frightened when it appears. You may feel angry at the person who left you for leaving, angry at yourself for not doing something different, angry at other people who still have what you lost, or even angry at situations that have nothing to do with your loss. It is completely normal to feel angry during grief, even if it goes against everything you believed about yourself. Anger appears because it is easier to feel angry than to feel the deep pain of loss. It is an emotion that gives us energy, unlike sadness, which leaves us powerless. For this reason, anger often comes as a natural protection. You may get irritated by small, everyday things, lose your temper more easily, or feel unfairly treated in life. Some people get angry at others who are still happy, as if they have no right to be happy when you are suffering. Others get angry at themselves, blaming themselves for things they did or didn't do. The key is to allow this anger to exist without judgment, but also without letting it harm you or others. Find safe ways to express your anger. This could be by talking to someone you trust, writing down everything you're feeling on paper, exercising, or even yelling at home alone. The important thing is not to keep this anger bottled up inside, because it can turn into bitterness and keep you stuck in suffering for much longer. Remember that feeling angry doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a normal person who's going through a very difficult time. If you are enjoying this information and it is helping you in some way, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any new content. And tell me in the comments where you are watching this video from. Your participation is very important to me and can help other people who are going through the same situation as you. Tip 4. Browse the bargain. The fourth stage is bargaining, which may seem a little strange, but it is more common than you might think. This is when our mind tries to make impossible deals to reverse the situation. You may find yourself thinking things like, if I had done this differently, maybe none of this would have happened. Or if I completely change my life, maybe things will go back to the way they were before. Some people make promises to higher powers, saying that they will be better people if they can get back what they lost. Others keep looking for signs that the loved one is still around, or that the situation will somehow magically resolve itself. Bargaining can also appear as a constant search for answers. You want to understand exactly why something happened, as if finding a perfect explanation could change anything. You may find yourself thinking about every detail, replaying conversations, analyzing each moment, trying to find something that could have been done differently. This stage is important because it helps us process the situation and seek some control in the midst of chaos. But it is important not to get stuck in it for too long. The truth is that we can't always understand why certain things happen, and there's not always something we could have done differently. To get through this phase in a healthy way, allow yourself to ask these questions and seek answers for a while, but also accept that some things may go unexplained. Talk to people you trust about these thoughts. Sometimes talking about these ideas with someone else can help us see that they're not realistic. Practice acceptance exercises like meditation or deep breathing. They help you be more present and accept things as they are rather than how you wish they were. Tip 5. Get through deep depression. The fifth stage is deep depression, and this is perhaps the most difficult of all. This is when the reality of the loss finally hits you and you feel the full weight of what has happened. Unlike normal sadness, this depression is more intense and long-lasting. You may feel deeply empty, as if nothing matters anymore. It is common to lose interest in things that used to bring you pleasure, have difficulty sleeping or sleep too much, lose your appetite, or eat too much. Many people feel tired all the time, even when they are not doing anything that requires effort. You may cry for no apparent reason, or, on the contrary, feel too empty to cry. Some people feel as if they are at the bottom of a dark well, with no energy to climb out. This stage is necessary because it is when we truly process the pain of loss. It is as if our soul needs this time to regroup and get used to the new reality. Many people try to skip this stage or get out of it quickly, but this can cause the pain to show up in other ways later. During this stage, it is essential to take care of the basics. Even if you don't feel like it, try to eat at least a little, drink water, and take a shower. Ask for help from those close to you if necessary. Don't pressure yourself to be productive or feel well. This is a time of inner healing, and healing takes time. Seek professional help if you feel like you can't cope on your own. Therapists and psychologists are trained to help people in this situation. Remember that this phase is not permanent. Even though it may seem like you'll never get out of it, you will. It's important to respect your time, but also take small steps towards healing, such as going for a walk, talking to a friend, or doing a simple activity that used to bring you pleasure. Tip 6. Find moments of acceptance. The 6th stage is acceptance, but don't think of it as a moment of sudden joy. Acceptance in grief is more like a quiet peace that slowly builds. It's when you finally stop fighting reality and start finding ways to live with it. You're not happy about what happened, but you stop wasting energy trying to change it. It's like learning to walk again after an injury. It's hard and painful at first, but you gradually find your new rhythm. Acceptance can come in waves. One day you may feel at peace with the situation, and the next you may feel angry or sad again. This is completely normal. Grief is not a straight line. It's more like a spiral. You may revisit the previous stages, but each time you go through them, it gets a little easier. During acceptance, you start to be able to talk about your loss without despairing. You can remember good times without feeling only pain. You start to make plans for the future, even if they're small. It could be deciding to redecorate a room, planning a trip, or simply committing to taking better care of yourself. To cultivate acceptance, practice gratitude for the time you had with the person you lost, rather than focusing solely on the loss. Allow yourself to create new rituals and traditions that honor your loss, but also connect you to the present life. Begin to reconnect with people and activities, even if slowly. Accept that your life will be different, but that different doesn't necessarily mean worse. It may just be different, and over time, you may discover aspects of this new life that are valuable and meaningful. Tip 7. Build your new identity. The 7th and final stage is building a new identity. When we experience a significant loss, a part of our identity also changes. If you've lost a spouse, you may no longer know what it's like to be yourself without being part of a couple. If you've lost a job that defined your life, you may feel lost about who you are now. This stage is about discovering who you are in this new reality and building a life that makes sense with this new version of yourself. It's not about forgetting the past or pretending the loss didn't happen. It's about integrating this experience into your life story in a way that allows you to grow and move forward. You may discover strengths you didn't know you had, develop new interests, or connect more deeply with values that have always been important to you. Some people find a new calling by helping others who are going through similar situations. Others find meaning in honoring the memory of what they lost through positive actions. The important thing is that you allow yourself to explore this new version of yourself with curiosity and compassion. To build this new identity, start by trying small experiments. Try new activities, meet new people, explore interests you've always had but never had the time to develop. Reflect on what you've learned from your experience of loss and how it can make you a wiser and more compassionate person. Consider how you can use your experience to help others. Sometimes transforming our grief into purpose is one of the most powerful forms of healing. Remember that building a new identity doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that can take months or even years. Be patient with yourself during this journey. Now you know the 7 stages of grief and understand that what you are feeling is part of a natural and necessary process. Each of these stages has its purpose and its time. Don't try to skip any of them or rush the process. Your mind and heart know the right pace for your healing. Remember that there is no right or wrong way to grieve. Each person has their own path and their own time. The important thing is that you don't give up on yourself, no matter how difficult it is right now. You have within you the strength you need to get through this storm and find peace on the other side. You won't forget what you lost, but you will learn to carry that memory in a way that strengthens you instead of paralyzing you. Your life may be different now, but it can still be full of meaning, love, and joy. The sun may be hidden by the clouds right now, but it is still there, waiting to shine again in your life. You will breathe easy again. You will smile again. You will live again. And now tell me, in which of these stages do you recognize yourself most? Share your experience in the comments, because your story may be exactly what someone else needs to hear today to not feel alone on this journey. Try again, D6 things. No one tells you about the pain of losing a sibling. Edit. What if I told you that the pain of losing a sibling is completely different from any other type of grief? If you've lost a brother or sister, you know that there's something unique about this grief, something that the people around you can't fully understand. They try to comfort you by saying that they know how you feel because they've lost grandparents or other relatives. But you know that it's not the same. The truth is that losing a sibling touches parts of our soul that other losses don't touch. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you 6 things that no one talks about this specific grief, but that you need to know to understand what's happening to you. These are things that only those who have been through it truly understand, secrets that can help you feel less alone on this journey. If you don't understand these truths about sibling grief, you may end up putting too much pressure on yourself or thinking that you're reacting the wrong way. But when you know these realities, everything makes more sense. You'll discover why certain things affect you more than you imagined and how to deal with feelings that seem inexplicable. By the end of this video, you will understand that your pain is valid, special, and deserves to be respected in a unique way. Tip 1. You lose part of your own history. The first thing no one tells you is that when you lose a sibling, you don't just lose a loved one. You lose the only person in the world who shared your story from the beginning. Your brother was the only person who truly knew your family as you did, who understood your childhood references, and who could confirm your memories. He was your witness to life, the person who could tell you if you really did that mischief when you were 5, or if your mother really sang you that song to sleep. Now you may feel as if an important part of your own history has disappeared along with him. This creates a very strange feeling, as if you are losing pieces of yourself. You may start to doubt your own memories, especially the earliest ones. You may feel deeply alone, even though you are surrounded by other people who love you, because none of them know you the way your brother did. It is normal to feel like you are the sole guardian of the memories you shared, and this can feel like a heavy burden to carry alone. Some people feel as though they have lost not only their present and future with their sibling, but also a part of their past. To cope with this feeling, start writing down or recording the memories you shared. Talk to other family members about these memories, even if they weren't there every moment. Sometimes they can help you fill in some gaps or confirm details you thought you had forgotten. Create a special journal or scrapbook just for these shared memories. This will help you preserve the unique story you created together and help you feel less alone as the guardian of these memories. Tip 2. Pain changes your position in the family. The second truth that no one talks about is how the loss of a sibling completely changes your position within the family. If you were the youngest, you may now be the youngest. If you were the middle child, you may have become the oldest or the youngest. This change in role can leave you completely lost as to who you are within your own family. You may feel responsible for taking on some of the characteristics or responsibilities that your sibling once had. If your sibling was the fun one in the family, you may feel pressure to bring joy to everyone. If your sibling was the responsible one, you may feel like you need to take care of everyone now. This pressure can be internal, coming from yourself, or external, coming from other family members who expect you to fill that void. The problem is that you are not your sibling, and trying to be your sibling in addition to being yourself is an impossible burden to bear. You may also notice that the family dynamics have completely changed. Conversations are different. gatherings have a different tone, and you may feel like your place at the table is awkward. Some families avoid talking about the sibling who has passed away, which can make you feel alone in your longing. Other families talk about him so much that you may feel like there's no room for your own feelings. To navigate this new dynamic, be honest with your family about how you're feeling. Explain that you feel pressure to take on new roles and that you need time to figure out who you are in this new family setup. Don't try to be someone you're not just to fill the void left by your brother. Honor his memory by being the best version of yourself, not a carbon copy. Tip 3. You grieve alone. The third thing no one prepares you for is the solitary grief you will face. While your parents receive all the attention and support they need for losing a child, you may feel forgotten in your grief over losing a sibling. People ask how your parents are feeling and offer support, but rarely do they ask specifically how you are coping with the loss of your sibling. Society fails to recognize that sibling grief is unique and deserves special attention. You may feel guilty for grieving when you see your parents devastated, as if your grief is less important than theirs. This is not true. Your grief is real, valid, and deserves to be cared for. You may also feel obligated to be strong to support your parents, which causes you to hide your own feelings. Some people feel they don't have the right to cry in front of their parents because they are already grieving too much. Others become the family's caregivers, putting their own needs on the back burner. This loneliness and grief can leave you feeling misunderstood and isolated. You may feel like no one really understands the depth of your grief or the uniqueness of your relationship with your sibling. To help you cope with this lonely grief, seek out support groups specifically for people who have lost siblings. There are online and in-person communities where you can talk to people who truly understand what you're going through. Don't be ashamed to seek individual therapy, even if your family is in family therapy. You need a space of your own to process your feelings. Remember that dealing with your grief doesn't diminish the love you have for your parents or the importance of their grief. If you are finding identification in these words and they are bringing some comfort to your heart, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive more content that can help you on this journey. And tell me in the comments where you are watching this video from. Your presence here is very important to me and can bring hope to other people who are going through the same pain as you. Tip 4. Others don't know how to treat you. The fourth painful truth is that the people around you simply don't know how to treat you after you lose a sibling. They have no references for how to comfort someone in this particular situation. Unlike when someone loses a parent, where there is a clearer social protocol, the loss of a sibling leaves everyone at a loss for what to say or do. You may notice that some people avoid talking to you about the subject, not because they don't care, but because they are afraid of saying the wrong thing. Others may try to minimize your grief by comparing it to other losses, saying things like at least your parents are still alive or at least you had good times together. These statements, even when they come from a place of good intentions, can be very hurtful. Some people may expect you to get over your grief more quickly than you would naturally because they don't understand the depth of the bond between siblings. Others may become uncomfortable when you mention your sibling, quickly changing the subject or becoming visibly embarrassed. This can make you feel like you can't talk about one of the most important people in your life. You may also notice that some friends withdraw, not out of malice, but because they don't know how to deal with your grief. They may be afraid to see you sad, or they may feel inadequate to offer you support. This can increase your feelings of isolation just when you need it most. To cope with this situation, be patient with people who love you but don't know how to help you. Be clear about what you need. If you want to talk about your sibling, say so. If you need space, let them know. Gently educate people about your grief, explaining that it is real and lasting. Reach out to people who have lost siblings because they truly understand what you're going through. Tip 5. You carry specific guilts. The fifth thing no one tells you is about the specific types of guilt that arise when you lose a sibling. This guilt is unlike any other you might feel during other types of grief. You may feel guilty for being alive when your sibling is gone, especially if you were close in age. You may wonder why it was him and not you, and this question may plague you day and night. If you had a fight before he passed away, this guilt can be devastating. You may find yourself replaying the last conversation you had, wishing you had said things differently or been kinder. You may feel guilty for not spending more time with him, for not being a better sibling, or for not noticing signs that he was sick or in danger. There is also a very specific guilt related to achievements and happy moments. You may feel bad about laughing, having moments of joy, or achieving goals that your sibling will never achieve. You may feel guilty about experiencing experiences that he will never experience, such as getting married, having children, or simply growing old. This survivor's guilt can be paralyzing if you don't learn to deal with it. Some people feel guilty about moving on, or about having days when they don't think about their sibling as much. They may interpret this as a sign that they are forgetting, or that they didn't love them as much as they thought they did. The truth is that moving on and having moments of peace doesn't diminish your love for your sibling. To work through this guilt, first recognize that it is normal and expected. Talk to a therapist about these feelings because they need to be processed properly. Practice self-forgiveness, reminding yourself that you did the best you could with the knowledge you had at the time. Honor your sibling by living a full life, not punishing yourself endlessly for being alive. Tip 6. You develop unique fears. The sixth and final truth is about the specific fears that develop after losing a sibling. These fears are different from those that arise in other types of grief and can catch you completely off guard. You may develop an intense fear of losing other family members, especially other siblings if you have them. Every time they leave the house, every unexpected phone call, every delay in responding to text messages can send you into a panic. This fear can become so intense that it interferes with your ability to have normal relationships with the people you love. You may also develop fears related to your own mortality. Seeing someone so close to you in age and life experience pass away can make you hyper-aware of the fragility of life. You may begin to fear dying young, not being able to fulfill your dreams, or leaving people you love to suffer as you are suffering now. Some people develop specific phobias related to the way their sibling died. If it was a car accident, you may develop a fear of driving. If it was an illness, you may become a hypochondriac. These fears may seem irrational to others, but they are completely normal reactions to the trauma you have experienced. There is also a fear of forgetting. You may be terrified that you will forget what your sibling sounds like, how they smell, or important details about them. You may find yourself constantly checking photos and videos, worried that your memories are fading. To cope with these fears, recognize that they are a normal part of the grieving process after losing a sibling. Don't judge yourself for having them. Seek professional help if these fears are significantly interfering with your daily life. Practice breathing and relaxation techniques for moments of intense anxiety. Remember that being afraid doesn't mean something bad is going to happen. It just means that you are processing a deep trauma. Now you know these 6 truths about the grief of losing a sibling that are rarely discussed openly. You are not alone in this journey, even when it feels like no one understands exactly what you are feeling. Your grief is unique, valid, and deserves to be respected. Don't let anyone minimize what you are going through or pressure you to move on faster than you should. The bond between siblings is special and irreplaceable, and the pain of loss reflects the depth of that love. Remember that feeling this intense pain does not mean you are weak or doing something wrong. It means that you love deeply and that this person was truly important in your life. Honor this pain as you honor the love you feel for your sibling. Allow yourself to move through this experience at your own pace, seeking help when you need it, and being kind to yourself every step of the way. Your sibling will always be a part of who you are, and learning to carry both the love and the longing is part of your healing journey. you will find a way to move forward that honors their memory and allows you to live a full life again. And now tell me, which of these truths touched your heart the most? Share your experience in the comments, because your story could be the hug that someone else needs to receive today to know that they are not alone in this very particular and deep pain.